This is a version of our Power Delivery Digital Twin app that I have running in my local development environment. I'm going to click on my stations link here and show you I've got 4 models loaded into Forge OSS buckets. Below the web page you'll see that I'm logging some information just to the display window so that I know where I'm at in the application and to keep myself in track. As you navigating around in my model, the level of detail is really good, the performance is really good. We're converting our inventor models to the Forge SVF file format with no loss of detail that I can tell. The performance in the browser is great. I can count bolts, I can count sheds on my insulators. I have a really good, outstanding picture of my application overall. This particular substation is a little bit bigger than the other 3. This is a transmission substation versus the other 3 that are distribution subs. Really the only difference is the level of detail and the amount of voltage that each one can handle. But I use this as a model because we can see just a huge amount of detail still. There's just a lot of really good stuff in our models that come across. At our airport road station here, as I zoom in, I'm going to just peek at my regulators and my breakers. But what's important here is I'm going to show you my transformer and click on it. And I want to bring up the properties that we pull into our model from Inventor with Autodesk Forge and Autodesk Vault on our back end, where we integrate with our systems of record and we pull lots of information into the model for our users. So things like our emergency address and Latin long for GIS purposes. We have voltage information. We get unique equipment IDs, equipment descriptions, and a lot of project level details that our customers want to see so that they can keep track of all the projects that are ongoing within the station at any given time, and that just becomes important for them to make decisions and maintenance decisions in particular so they know where to go and what to do. We get all the same Forge level goodness that we get, that the Revit guys get in the AEC with our Inventor models. So when they're converted, we still get markups and measurements, and we can get accurate measurements here on the underground bus work. We can measure the height of our poles and check clearances. And when we enable the collaborative features, we can export these out as issues, even linking it back to BIM 360. So with the Enable Sensors widget, when I click here, I've got a breakpoint set in my JavaScript code, and I'm just showing you some of the bits. But the more important aspect here is that Forge is written with modern languages in mind. You're not going to feel overwhelmed, or you're not going to have to go find somebody who knows some kind of weird programming language. This is all modern web stuff that people know how to use. So you can get development talent to work on here. We pull our data in from SQL Server on Azure, but that's just what we're used to, and that's what our design or our development standards are based on. This particular big graph here, pulling data, time series data from SQL Server, from Azure, and we're measuring the voltage, or the temperature rather, on this transformer. And I can see peaks and valleys, and our customers can make decisions based on whether they see that as a problem or not. So as I hover over the sprites here, the DataViz API for Forge gives me hooks back into the API, and I can set more breakpoints, and this is in my .NET code just to show you that, once again, modern language support. .NET Core is very well supported. I'm more of a .NET guy versus JavaScript, so I'm comfortable in this environment, but regardless, whatever developers you have, whatever language they're comfortable in, you can use this technology. As I click on these sprites, I can bring up more sensor data here, and this sensor data is fed into the system on a 3-second loop to show you that we can indeed show near real-time data and get different values coming back so that we give this to our users for them to use. One of the last features I want to show here is some supplemental drawings that I pulled into the system. This is a 2D AutoCAD electrical drawing that shows the 3-line connection plan for this substation. As you can see, the level of detail is still great. Viewer handles 2D assets just as well as it does 3D, and we can turn on the properties and the layers if we so choose. We're not just limited to black and white drawings. We can pull in color drawings as well. This is from our physical design shop, and they do their stuff in color. The accuracy of the drawings is great, so if this drawing is drawn to scale, you can get markups and measurements just as well, and you can continue to collaborate with your customers, save these assets out, give it to them so they can make business decisions. As I close out, once again, thank you, and I hope you find this presentation useful. Thanks.